Ever try to pass a form into a VBA routine as a parameter, but you want that parameter to be optional and you don't know how to detect when it wasn't passed? That's where isNothing comes into play. Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to talk about optional form parameters in Access VBA and how to safely handle the case where no form gets sent in at all. I'll show you how to check for nothing properly and then automatically default to a form like your main menu so you don't have to update every single line of code in your database. All right, before we get started today, let's take a look at some prerequisites, stuff you should know before watching this video. Obviously, you should know some VBA. If not, go watch this, about 20 minutes long. It'll teach you everything you need to know to get started. If you're not familiar with my status box function, go watch this video. I show you how to get it to work on one form. And then in this video, I show you how to make it global. So the function itself is global, but it still always points back to the main menu. In today's video, we're going to make it so that anybody can have their own status box and you can send it to that form, whatever form you want. You should know what optional parameters are. And go watch this video on passing a form as a parameter. All right, these are all free videos. They're on my YouTube channel. They're on my website. Go watch those and then come on back. Today's question comes from Clayton in Louisville, Colorado. I didn't know there was a Louisville, Colorado. I had to look it up. Looks like it's right there between Boulder and Denver. Pretty cool. Been to Denver a couple of times. Really cool city. Never been up to Boulder, though. I just love it when I get questions from people and I'm like, oh, where's that? Where is that city at? Anyways, Clayton asks, how can I make one status message routine that works on multiple forms without rewriting it for every form? I'm building an Access database for our small warehouse. I'm the lucky one who got assigned to it. And I added a little status box that shows messages like saving record or export complete with a timestamp. I already got it working, so one global status routine can update any form if I pass the form to it. And I watched your video about sending a form as a parameter, so I understand that part. But what happens if I don't pass a form at all? I'd love for it to automatically use my main menu form as the default, but right now that means I have to go through my whole database and update every call to include that form. I can make optional parameters for text and numbers, but I can't figure out how to make a form parameter optional or how to tell it if nothing was sent in. You got the keyword right there, nothing. How do I check for that and use a default form? Very cool. And this is something that I haven't covered before in a Tech Help video. I've done this in a developer class, but let's talk about how to do this. All right, so here I am in my Tech Help free template. This is a free database you can grab off my website if you want to. And by now you should be familiar with my status box function, right? It lives in here. Okay. Move that over. There we go. It's status hello world, and all status does is it passes a string to the status function, which is global. It lives in my global module, and then it says forms main menu f status box equals, and then whatever. Now, you watched my status video, you know how this works. What if you want to have multiple status boxes on different forms? I do this myself sometimes. What if, like on your customer form, you want a status box there too? Well, you can, and you could do it without having to rewrite a custom status function for every form. You just got to pass the form into it. Now, if you watch my other video on passing a form, all you have to do here is say F as a form. Right? Now, right here, instead of saying forms main menu F, you just say form, or F, F status box, and then over here, F status box. And that's it. That's all you'd have to do. Right? And now, let me save this. Move this out of the way here. Let's say this guy needs to hello world, and then F for this one would be me. You could send it me. Me is the main menu F because we're in a code module here. If you're on a different, let's say another different global module, you can say forms main menu F like that, and that's the name of that form. Okay? But here is me. So we'll use me there. Okay? Now let's say we've got a different form. Let's make sure this still works. Okay, still working. Let's go to here now. let's say we got a status box on the customer form. So let's copy this one. I'm going to copy, and we'll just drop it over here, design, and paste. Oh, yeah, my copy paste is being weird. Watch, copy, paste. I got to do it real fast. It's been weird for months. All right, and I'll slide you down here. It should have the same name. It's got, let's see, status box is the same name. And let's make a button. I'll just grab this one, copy, paste, slide it down here. And we'll use this one to test the status, okay? Name, status, button. Okay, now in here, build event, I want to be able to just call status again. So status, right, customer form status, comma, me. I'm going to send it this form. So the status function in the global module knows which form to use. Save it, debug compile once in a while. All right, let me close it, close it, close it. Let's open it, move you over here so you can see them both, all right? All right, this guy's status is here. This guy's status is here. And you can change this. You can have them use each other's boxes if you want to. You can make the customer form go to forms main menu F, just like that. And now this form is statusing over there. So you can tell any form to status to a different form just by sending it a reference to that form. Now, the problem that Clayton is having, I believe, is he wants to be able to make optional parameters. Yes, this is PowerPoint. Optional parameters. Because he doesn't want to go through all of his code and add this in all the places in his database where he's got status. He wants to say if there is nothing here, default to the main menu. I get it. My database probably has 5,000 or more. Now, we could do a global search and replace, but that's going to be tough too because you got to add a second parameter on the end here, so that would be tricky. So how do we just program status so it can take an optional parameter? Well, let's give it a try. Because if we debug compile now, we're going to get yelled at, right? Argument not optional. Okay, so we got to go in here. It's got to be optional. So definition. So we could put in here optional F as form. Okay, and that'll at least let us compile. Yep. Let's try to run it though. What happens if I come over here and hit status? All right, object variable or with block not set. Okay, because we didn't give it an F at all. So we got to try to say, okay, if F is nothing, and I just gave it away. That's literally what we have to say. We can't say in here, if is null F, then F equals forms main menu F, right? We can't do that, right? Let's debug compile. Oh, invalid use of property. Why is that? That's another good teaching moment. And yes, I'm doing this on purpose because I want you to see when you hit debug compile, it'll tell you that you did something wrong. And quite honestly, I'm guilty of this myself all the time, right? This is an object. A form is an object. A table is an object, right? So what do we have to do with object variables? We have to set them. And if you set it, you got to forget it. So set F equals nothing. Now that's the clue right there. F is nothing is what we have to do. Well, let's take it one step at a time. All right, debug compile. All right, it compiles. Now let's try it. Click. Oh, okay. I'm not set. All right, so it's not going to be F is null. We can't check for a null string. We can't check for an empty string. We can't check for a 0. What do we check for? Well, we check to see if it's nothing. Right? And that's the key. Here's what we have to put in here. If F is nothing. I know. It's not equals, it's is. If F is nothing, then debug compile. I didn't come up with the VBA syntax, people. I just teach you how to use it. Ready? Click, and now it's going over to the main menu. Because we're saying he didn't send in an F, so if F is nothing, then that. If you put equals here, let's see. Put equals there, save it. Debug compile. See, invalid use of object. Right? You can set it equal to nothing, but you can't check to see if it's equal to nothing. It's got to be is nothing. Yeah, I know. That's confusing. But that's why I'm showing you debug compile will teach you every step of the way what you did wrong. Most of the time. Not always. Most of the time. And now, all the rest of your code in the database that has just this will go to the main menu. That's all. And yes, you could, if you really wanted to make this super cool, you could check to see if there's a control on the form that you're sending it from that has a status box, right? If it's got its own status box, you could use that one. But that's a tale for a different story or a different day or however that goes. If you guys really want to see how to do that, post a comment down below and maybe I'll do another video on it. If you like this kind of stuff, check out my Access developer lessons. I teach you everything you need to know to be an awesome developer, and I teach it in the right order, so there's no hopping around for different videos. Take level 1, level 2, level 3 in order, and trust me, you'll be awesome in no time. All right, so today's key takeaway. If you want to pass a form as a parameter into a procedure, right, a sub or a function, and you want it to possibly be optional, that's okay. Just check for if f is nothing. If the form is nothing, then, and then put your default form right there. Right? You can't specify it up in the parameter thingy, but you can put it down in your code. It's the same trick I do with dates, right? You can't have a date parameter be equals now up in the parameter declaration, but you can set it to something like January 1st, 1900, and then later in the code say if the date is January 1st, 1900, assume you want now. There's all kinds of tricks you can play with that. I think I have a whole separate video on that one. Yeah, I do. Wouldn't you know it? See, you can't send like now or date in. That gives you an error. But you could send in January 1st, 1900, and then say if it's that, make it today's date in the code. All right, anyways, doing this prevents you from having to go through your whole database, updating every single call to that function, whatever. And you can give it, the user the option to override it if you want to. It's really cool stuff. Now, post a comment down below and let me know how you like today's video, and more importantly, tell me how you plan to use this in your database. I love hearing the different ways that you folks put stuff to work that I give you in these classes. It's awesome. I love getting stories, and when you users post screenshots on my website and the forum, that's amazing too. Got a lot of great screenshots people post. But that's going to be your Tech Help video for today, brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that show more link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get one free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos. Plus you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And gold members get one free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject, and you get one free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.